welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys, to a Barcelona news roundup today that's going to be mainly centred around our reported interest in Eintracht Frankurt striker Luka Jovic. There is a lot to discuss on the Jovic front, who's being touted as the heir to Luis Suárez. Is there anything in that? Can he do that role? And are we indeed close to signing him? All of that and some more, it's coming right up. Let's do this. So first of all, guys, I want to give you some background information on our reported target from Frankfurt, which is Luka Jovic. Now, he's a 21-year-old centre-forward, a number 9, a striker, whatever way you want to put it. He loves to score goals. He's currently playing in the Bundesliga for Eintracht Frankurt, and he's been on very, very good form this season, and has been a big part in Frankfurt's rise up the Bundesliga table and also in Europe. He is currently, though, on loan from Benfica, it should be noted, so this deal is quite a complicated one. He's a Serbian international, currently with 3 caps to his name, and just to be absolutely frank here, this is a guy who has been on fire right throughout this season so far. He's exploded onto the scene, much like in many ways Piatek in Serie A, who really rose to the fore this season with some sensational goal scoring. He earned a move to AC Milan. Will Jovic now be on his way to La Liga and maybe even Barcelona? Currently this season, he has 14 goals to his name in just 18 Bundesliga appearances, along with 4 assists as well, which should be noted, and that of course includes an incredible 5-goal haul which he recorded in a 7-1 Eintracht Frankurt victory against Fortuna Düsseldorf. That was back in October, and in doing so he became the youngest player ever in the Bundesliga to score 5 goals in one game, and to be honest, he's been just as prolific in Europe as well. He's got 5 goals in 6 Europa League games, and he has been very, very impressive right across all fronts this season, taking him to 19 goals in all competitions, and naturally, that in itself has alerted the attention of all the major clubs right around Europe. And to be perfectly honest, with Luka Jovic as well, it's not only the goal scoring that's very attractive from a Barcelona point of view, it's his overall style of play. He's certainly been touted as a Suárez replacement, not only for goals, but also in his all-round play, his hold-up play, how he can move the ball, certainly his movement, because he's a player actually that does mirror the way that Suárez plays in many ways. He's aggressive in the way that he plays, he's always playing with that high intensity, and also it's all about that movement at Barcelona, it's all about that thinking as well. You've got to be mentally very, very strong and mentally aware of where you've got to go, where you've got to be, because quite often you've got to remember against Barcelona, teams are going to sit very deep, they're not going to allow you space in behind, and I don't think Jovic is a particularly quick player. He's not somebody who's tremendously athletic, he's not somebody who's going to burn in behind opposition, but a lot of the time against Barcelona, the space is not there in behind anyway. You've got to work it, you've got to be clever, you've got to be smart, and certainly when he gets a chance, he has been putting them away this season with conviction. He's clinical in front of goal, and certainly at just 21 years old, a lot of career ahead of this guy, a lot of learning still to be done, but there is so much talent, so much potential right here with Jovic. And so now we've done the background checks on Jovic himself and his style of play as well. Let's now look at the reports that have been linking him in the recent days with the move to Barcelona. Now, I wanted to wait a day or so before the initial reports came out, simply because I knew that in the Spanish media there would be more to this story, because yesterday it came out from a source called Faznet, which is basically a local paper, a local media source in Frankfurt, so very, very close to the Eintracht Frankurt club, and they are known to be very reliable. And it was a report that basically said Luka Jovic's agent has largely agreed terms with Barcelona, and his next move will be now to reach an agreement between Frankfurt. There's things to tie up behind the scenes as well with Benfica, but it also did say that other major European clubs are interested, but Barcelona had made that first move, there was contact, and things had been agreed. But on the face of it, it all looked a bit sudden, and certainly in today's media, particularly in the Spanish media, and it has been widespread reports right across the board, there has been a little bit of a stop on those sort of rumours getting out of control, because certainly Sir came out and said there has been contact, no doubt about that. Luka Jovic's entourage and Barca admit there has been contact between the two of them, there's genuine interest in the player, but no verbal or signed agreement has been made between the two. There's nothing official between the two yet, and no concrete terms have been agreed. The player has many options, and other clubs, again, are certainly interested. What we're going to have here with Jovic is a lot of competition. He's a striker who's very highly sought after, a man in form, a man who's very young as well, and somebody who's only going to grow in stature and in price starting this summer transfer window. Sport and MD both both on the scene this morning, both with Luka Jovic on their front covers. Mundo Deportivo came out and said basically, again, contact has been made, but nothing has been concretely agreed and nothing is ready to go. Sport go with Barcelona like Jovic, and Sport mentioned a price of 40 million euros for the potential transfer fee in the summer transfer window, which then brings me on to a big report as well from Germany today, which is from Bild, which basically say there is going to be a war for Luka Jovic between Barcelona and between our biggest rivals, Real Madrid. A war for this man simply because Real are really interested as well. There's a lot of clubs interested along with Barca, but our direct rival for this one is going to be Real. And according to Bild's report, Real Madrid have already jumped the gun. They've already gone ahead of Barcelona in the queue with an opening offer of 45 million euros for Luka Jovic. But that certainly won't be the end of it. That will not be the end of it. Eintracht Frankurt, Benfica, however they're going to work it, they're going to be sitting pretty, they're going to be waiting, they're going to see a lot of clubs come in, a lot of interest here, and they're just going to watch the bids go up and up and up. And we've got to decide here, are we genuinely interested in the player? If we are, we've got to go to him then and basically put our sporting objective, our image on the line and say, look, this is the plan that we have for you, this is where you're going to play, this is where your progression is going to come from, and basically convince the player to make sure that the clubs like Real Madrid are not going to come in and take him if they just offer more money. We have to go to Jovic, as reports say that we have done already. We've gone to his agent, initial contact has definitely been made, and certainly right now, Barcelona undoubtedly interested in this very promising young striker. And obviously that's a look to the future, and it certainly could be a very, very bright future if Jovic matures and really develops as we all expect him to. Certainly this season he has been sensational, but just looking at the present and the now with regard to the rest of this season, we've got Suárez as our number 9, and we basically brought in Boateng to offer a bit of rotation, a bit of backup there if we really needed to rest the Uruguayan centre forward. And I just want to bring you a report here from Cat Radio, which I have to say doesn't really fill me with confidence when you look at the major games we've got coming up, when you look at that rotation. Are we going to be able to do it as much as we expected? Simply because Cat Radio here say that Kevin Prince Boateng has some knee discomfort. This is not something new, this is not something that's going to go away, it's something that's been with him for a long, long time now in his career. It doesn't prevent him from playing, it doesn't really hamper him massively, but it does limit what he can give on the pitch, and it does limit his minutes in Barcelona this season. So Boateng, with a bit of a knee problem, something that can flare up every now and then. Perhaps at the moment it's a bit worse because we've not seen Boateng over the last few games. Suárez playing every minute and not really succeeding in playing. You look at him on Sunday against Athletic Club, he didn't play well. Barcelona didn't play well. We certainly look jaded, we look leggy, we look like we're getting tired. And I think Suárez is one of those players that if he does need a rest, if he's overworked, if he's overplayed, he can go from absolutely incredible performances, just like we saw against Real Madrid earlier on this season, to absolutely nothing very, very quickly. It can be a very, very quick transition from Suárez on fire and Suárez really struggling for some fitness and some condition. And I think this week is absolutely massive for Luis Suárez. I've said before, if we're going to win the Champions League, if we are going to compete on all fronts this season, Suárez needs to be firing in the vital stages. We will need him to be firing to succeed, and it's vital that he does. So this week here, a week off, a week of recovery, resting, getting himself ready mentally as well, it's so important, because clearly here Boateng brought in as a backup, but we may not be able to depend on him when we really need to, when we want to rest Luis Suárez. So hopefully Suárez can get it back, get the fire burning again, get that light in his eyes, get him gunning for success, because we need him, and there's nobody else in this team in that number 9 role who can do what he does when he is on form. But ultimately, guys, I just wanted to bring you this video here outlining our interest, no doubt about it, in Luka Jovic, a very, very talented player. Of course, if there's further news, I will make sure that I bring it to you, and of course, if there's a further agreement down the line, I will have a video coming up for you all about this man and what he can give Barcelona. But certainly on the face of it, looking at his form this season, looking at the way that he plays, the style that he has, he is a player certainly who would fit in at Barcelona, fit in at that centre-forward role, and it's very, very promising indeed. So leave your thoughts down below, guys. If you've watched Jovic this season, what have you made of him? Do you think that he can suit Barcelona? Is he ready for a move like this in his career? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and of course, guys, I will see you soon with more videos. But until then, as always, Vasca el Barça!